I'm going to share my desktop with you all so you can see everything. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And how many of you will agree with we made it this Friday?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it has been a week, but we're thankful that we've made it to the end of the week, and hopefully you've had great strides and great efforts this week. But the purpose of our meeting today is to really talk about some of the things in AIMsweb, as well as go over some advanced ed documents that we want to work toward and look at the assist piece there. And then, of course, if you have any questions or concerns. So are you all good with what we're going to do today?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I may be asking you all from time to time to log in and I'll turn the screen over to you all because I really want this to be an opportunity for you all to click and find some things in these different websites that we're going to go to. All right, so I'm going to start off with the AIMsweb piece. First thing, I hope I was pretty clear the other day when I sent out the email about the sign in with Google option. So if your teachers are still having difficulty getting logged into AIMsweb, they do not need their username or password anymore. I've enabled the sign in with Google option so that way they can actually log in with their school's email account. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. And the same thing for you all. So you see, I'm going to choose my account right here. And once I do that, it's going to take me right into AIMsweb. Okay, so they should not need that anymore as far as the username or password. While we're on AIMsweb, I want to talk to you about some of the things that I've discovered yesterday that are available to us. This would be good information for RTI. It'd be good information for advanced ed when you're looking at interventions and things like that. If you click on groups, now there's a new feature called Math Skills Analysis. And I'm going to look at last year to take me back. And the reason I'm going to look at last year is because you may want to take a look at your math part for your CIP. So I'm just going to leave it on Excel and I'm going to leave it on grade 2 for right now. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. As you see on the screen, you have the 3 domains for math: concepts and application skills, mental computation fluency skills, and number comparison fluency triad skills. You can click one of those individually. Now what it does, it breaks down that concepts and application skills into your numbers and operations, problem solving, shape, and measurement. Then you see your results from fall, winter, and spring. And in each one, it tells you the percent of your students in this particular example is Excel 2nd grade from last year. So Mr. Gilman and Ms. Henderson, this will be your 3rd grade students this year. So you have in the fall, you have 38% that got it correct. You scroll across, winter was 54%. And then in the spring, your 2nd grade got 81%. All right. So when you look at this particular domain and this skills list, you see the growth that took place from 38% to 81%. So that's a pretty good amount of growth that Excel 2nd grade last year grew, which is now their 3rd grade students. But another feature that I like about this is you have the expand button. So now you can expand it, and this will help with your RTI efforts because now I can look and see the actual students and the tier that they fall in that particular domain and skills list. So what do you all think about that?
Awesome.
That's very helpful.
Really useful, yeah.
The thing I see, the I is coming, so it know that this is something that's coming. So I'm assuming this is going to be the actual test items. So this would be good information for you to share with for the teachers to see, okay, what was I1? What was item 4? What was item 5? So that's forthcoming. So what are you all thinking so far? How can you use this information to make plans for this year?
I just want to make sure I'm understanding that correctly. So like the first student, Adams,
Yes.
that I1 is item 1, and that 1, does that mean he got that one correct?
Okay, if you scroll down, I'm gonna scroll down. The 1 means correct, the 0 means incorrect, and then the asterisk means not attempted. that is a good indicator as well, because now you can start to see which items students are not attempting.
Mhm.
And so, you know, a lot of times they skip things on the test, just like if they were taking a paper pencil, they may omit something.
Right.
So that's good information for, and if you see the same students omitting something over time, there might be a student that needs to be monitored more closely every time they take the AIMsweb assessment. Okay, Ms. McCrory, from a principal's standpoint, how do you think this type of information will help you as far as developing your CIP?
Well, it's going to help me see where our weaknesses are.
It's going to help you see your weaknesses. And so if you need to target a certain area in math, this one happens to be numbers and operations, but this particular skill set, yeah, it's under concepts and application skills, but this is under your numbers and operations. All right, what can this also do as far as intervention?
It can tell you exactly what skills that student need to work on.
It tells you exactly what they need to work on. And then if you're trying to find things in ClassWorks for them to work on, or any other software program that you may have, this will give you more direction from the actual universal screen that the students took. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that so far? Y'all good?
My only question is it only math? Do they have
Yeah.
something that's useful in reading also?
I'm hoping that they're going to add the reading component soon.
Okay.
I'm hoping they will, and if they do, that would be awesome for us in reading. All right, so remember that was just one, that's under concepts application skills, but you have to go on down and you have to unlock the other piece. So now if you want to, if problem solving is an issue at your school, you grew from 26 to 52%, and then you can expand, and then you can start targeting individual students under that particular skill set. So I think it's some good information there. Mr. Gilman, you have any questions or concerns?
No, sir.
Okay. So remember, to get there, you go to groups, and then you change your drop down to math skills analysis. Do you all have any questions about anything else as far as the tier transition or tier transition details while we're under that tab?
I don't.
None.
Okay. All right. So that's what I want to show you all in AIMsweb. I want to mention the signing with Google option. I want to show you the math skills analysis piece, and hopefully the reading piece will come in into play soon. So if there's nothing else on AIMsweb, I'm going to go back to our opening document. I want to spend some time talking about the advanced ed piece. So I'm going to click to take you to advanced ed. In Google Drive, you all have a folder. And if you have not, have you all added this to your drive so you can get to it easily?
I have.
I have not.
I haven't.
Okay. So with that, that's something that you may want to do so you can find it easily. So you can actually get the link to it from here. Or you can do like the move to and then move it to your drive from there. So if you want to do that, you absolutely can. I just want you to know that these are the initial documents. Ms. McCrory, you were there at the JUB meeting last year for principals meeting. This is everything we got from that meeting. This is the meeting that we had last week with Dr. Harrison in the special ed conference room. And then you have a folder for your assist documents and a folder for your e-proof documents. I believe Mr. Sheehan sent out an email to you all the other day stating the deadline for ASIPs will be September 26th. Is that correct?
That's about right. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. But that was about right.
Well, he said the deadline should be September the 26th. And the reason why the state deadline is October the 15th, but because we're going through advanced ed accreditation in October, we need to be working on another part of our e-proof documents. So ASIPs are due on September the 26th. So I'm gonna open that folder up. In that folder, you see every one of our schools. I've already gone in. So Mr. Gilman, I'm gonna give the screen over to you right now. Mr. Gilman, will you open Excel's folder? All right, so every school will have this in their folder. They will have a Google Doc. So when your team meets, you'll have all of your, you have a Google sheet here where you can type notes and things about what you all are discussing for your ASIP planning. Every school also has their 17, 18 ASIP already in there. So you don't have to actually log into Assist to see where you were last year and what you worked toward. Okay? So that takes, say it again.
I just said okay.
Okay, so every school should have that. Ms. McCrory, I want to turn it over to you, and I want you to click for your school. So you just move your mouse and you should get control of the screen.
Yeah, okay, it's behind your picture. Hold on.
Okay. All right, so there you are. You have the same thing. You have your 17, 18 ASIP already dropped in there, and you have a planning sheet for your team to type notes and things. Because remember, this is important because this will also support the team if your school is chosen for those interviews on that Tuesday of the Advanced Ed Review. Remember, it's February the 10th through the 13th. You have the 10th, which is that Sunday, but they will be in schools the 11th and 12th. If your school is chosen for the 12th, which is that Tuesday, that will be interviews as well as Elliott observations in the classroom. That interview will consist of the stakeholders, your parents, your students, your teachers. And then they will also do Elliott observations. If your school is not chosen for Tuesday, that means they will only come to your school on that Monday. And if they come on that Monday, the only thing they will do is Elliott observations and no interviews will be done, okay? So this planning piece is really important so that whoever works on your ASIP will have something to refer back to as they're going through those interviews and all of that, and how you derived at your goals and everything. Okay? Any questions there? Y'all have anything you want to ask?
No.
Okay, Ms. McCrory, you good?
We're good.
Okay, anybody else on here? Ms. Hollinger, are you good?
Yes, sir, we're good.
All right.
Oh.
So I'm going to get access of the screen now. All right. So other things that you see in this this particular folder, I know MIS and I know that Shields has worked on some of their documents for pulling some of their data. So I'm going to click on MIS for an example here to show you some things they've already pulled in. So you see the same two things that they have. They have the planning sheet in their old ASIP. What they've done is they've gone in and created folders for their AIMsweb Math and AIMsweb Reading, and they pulled that because they know they want to set some goals on their CIP that's centered around the universal screeners. So what they've done here, I'm going to pull AIMsweb Math for an example so you can see it. Which they haven't dropped any files in yet. Let's see if they have anything for reading. Okay, so what she's dropped in here, you see her different students. So she's drilling down to the students here. So this is, let's see, this seems to be early lit. So that's like her first grade students. So now she's actually looking at their scores, and now she's going to start making some decisions for intervention, as well as some things that she may be putting in place on her CIP to set some goals. So do you think any of that might be useful to any of you to set up some things like that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So what she has already done, she's already gone in and start pulling her data so that she can set those goals. So when you actually sit down with your team, the documentation is already available. Instead of having to stop, log in, it's already there. All right, so you see she's done that she's got quite a few documents she's already put in place. All right, so that's AIMsweb Reading. Attendance data. What she's done is she's gone in and she's pulled her attendance from last year. So if attendance so she's determining if attendance is an issue for her, so she can set some goals and things and try to get better at those things this year. Are you all familiar with how to go in and pull your attendance report from the previous year?
Yes.
Mr. Gilman, are you good with that?
Actually, no.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do, Mr. Gilman. I'm going to turn the screen over to you. I'm going to log in under iNow. And
Okay.
then I'm going to turn the screen over to you because I want you to click the buttons to get what you need. So you'll be familiar with that process. If you all would just give me just a moment. It's spinning. It seems to be. All right, Mr. Gilman, I'm going to turn the remote control over to you so you can go through this clicking here. All right, Mr. Gilman, it's already on Excel School, but I want you to go up there and change the year back. Go back and change your year. Click Preferences at the bottom and on the far left. All right, change your academic session to the previous school term. All right, Mr. Gilman, go down to, on the left, click Reports. All right, do you see on the report name, you have your district ADA count? Click School, because it's showing district reports. Click School over here to the left. Yeah, click right there. All right, now you have all your ADA, ADM business there. You have your, if you scroll on up, you see your discipline report and your discipline statistics there. So
Right.
which one would you, which one would you all want to look at as an example with Mr. Gilman right now? Would you want to look at the attendance piece or the discipline piece?
Attendance.
Okay. Is everybody good with attendance?
That's good.
Okay, Mr. Gilman, click on the very first report, ADA/ADM. All right, so what you want to do is you see start date. What you want to do is you want to change that. It's already on the previous school term, which started August the 7th. And then you have 5/24/2018, which was the end of last school term. All right, so come down, if you're focusing on a certain grade level, or if you just want all students, so under the student filter, Mr. Gilman, click student filter so you can up to the top left. All right, so you see all the filters here, so you can choose all enrolled students, or if you know there's a certain grade level that you are interested in, you can filter it out there. All right, Mr. Gilman, if you would scroll on down. All right, and what you want to do here is you want to make sure what is my thing is covering up here. Did I click off something?
I guess, yes, sir.
Okay. Click that again. All right, can you scroll down to the right using your scroll bar? Okay. All right, and then you check off your layout. Do you want to do it by race? You know, because when you get on your ASIP, if this is something that you're using for one of your goals, you know, when you start writing your goals, it's gonna, you know, you have to write them to apply to a certain subgroup or something. So that will help break it down for you further. All right.
I think I clicked off that time.
Okay. All right, what you want to do, is there a format? Let me open this up. All right, is there a format down there?
Yes.
What are your formats?
You usually
I just
want to
opened it
use
up.
the PDF one is what I usually do, unless you're wanting to manipulate the data, then you could use the Excel one.
Exactly, so that's what I want to show. If there's something that you want to take off of that report as far as columns or something, and if you just wanted to, you know, just have the students and their number of absences or students and their discipline issues, then you could go in and do a CSV and take the columns off that you don't want. But if you just want to keep it as keep it as an Acrobat PDF file. Okay. So is everybody good there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what you do, Mr. Gilman, click preview. And it's spinning. But you chose a PDF, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just go ahead and X off that spinning because I think yours may take longer because you're actually pulling that data for all of your students. So that's probably why it's
Okay.
spinning so long. But once you click preview and the document comes up as a PDF, then you can actually save it to your computer as a PDF and then upload it in the appropriate places in your Google folder for attendance. Or if you're trying to upload something into Advanced Ed. So is everybody good
Okay.
there? All right. Does anybody need to look at the discipline side of it?
No, sir.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. So I'm gonna go back and Mr. Gilman, if you would just X that out. All right, I'm going to take control of the screen again. Oh, I thought I was. I'm clicking remote control. It's not letting me do anything. Board control. Okay, here we go. All right, so as long as y'all are good with that side of it, with the advanced ed, we're good. Going back into the assist documents. Every school has basically the same thing. And I put this ASIP pre-planning questions in here for you as you're working with your team to get that in order. I've also put the actual slide from the State Department, and I'll open that up for you to make sure everybody's aware of all of the requirements. You have, of course, you got your goals and your plans for your ASIP, but you also, down on the bottom where you have to do those additional documents, you got to have that stakeholder feedback diagnostic, the strategies to increase parent and family engagement diagnostic, which is your school's parental involvement plan. Right here, we're not Title I targeted assistance. We're all Title I school-wide. So that's the diagnostic that you should complete there. And then this last page, coordination of resources. Normally, federal programs director has given you all this information. But with us not having a federal programs person at this time, what I've done is I've gone in Assist, downloaded the template to give to Ms. Didell. There's an outside person at the State Department that's working our EGAP and everything. So Ms. Didell is working to get that template to that person. And so that person will supply you all with the information that you need before that September 26th deadline. Are y'all good there?
So we don't need to worry about Ms. Dowdell's last day being today because somebody outside of our system is doing it.
Somebody outside of our system has worked from the State Department. They're working our EGAP pieces and everything. And so that template, I actually went in Assist and I downloaded the PDF of it, gave her the copy. She's giving it to that person. So when they come on board, they should be ready to give you that information. But don't you all typically do the budget page last?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So I just want to make sure you all had the resource that I was working my end so that you all have what you all need when you all get to that stage in your plan.
Mr. Preer, do we have a ballpark figure? I mean, I know we may not have down to the penny, but at least to kind of know how much we can plan on doing?
That has not been disclosed to me. If you would like to reach out to Ms. Didell to see if she has an idea, she may be able to give you more direction on that than I can.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, so that's your ASIP requirements. And if you get stuck on something on the ASIP as far as going and creating the new components, what I've done is I've put this in here based upon what I've gotten from the State Department's website. So just in case you need to make changes or anything like that, here's some step-by-step directions for you. Do you all have any questions about that?
No.
Okay, just know that all this is in your Google Drive as you start working your plan, okay? Something else that I want to show you on the achievement side, because we look at attendance and then you can add your discipline in there if you need to, but I want to show you on MIS what they've done. They've done the Scantron Math and Scantron Reading. So they have separate folders. So what they've done is they've gone in Scantron and they have pulled the 17, 18 Scantron, and I think this is Scantron Math. So I want to show you that. they pull the report that comes in a CSV with all of the students, and they've, by fall, spring, and it tells the gains, if they met their target in the growth category. So if you're interested in using this type of data for your CIP, I can absolutely show you how to go in and pull that if you need me to. Does anybody need support with that?
No, I've already pulled that. I'm good.
Okay, Mr. McCrory?
We're good, thank you.
All right. So what they have is they have the gain, that's the gains analysis report, and they pulled in just the performance report. So it just tells you the rating, whether they were average, high, average, low, or whatever. So just wanted to share that with you as you're developing some ideas for the reports that you need. All right. So if nothing else in there, the other piece for advanced ed is your eProve documents. Every school has a folder for the Elliott observations. So as you're completing Elliott observations in your school, you want to put those, you want to put PDFs of those in there. Your school assurances, from watching the WebEx that I got from Dr. Harrison, the school assurances, you remember he told us that everyone should answer yes, okay? So with that, don't worry about putting any comments in there, because what the guy said on the WebEx is if you have comments, it's almost like you will be undoing your yes put in there. So when you answer yes, you're saying, yes, we do this, and you don't need any comments. So what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to remove that from that folder. So you won't even think you have to put anything in there. All right. But what you do want is your school quality factors. And in there, you want to go to your school, and I'm going to click on Excel since it's the first one. There's a folder for each of the 7 school quality factors. So the first one is clear direction comments. You do want to upload documents in here to support your decisions about the school quality factor of clear direction. So if you want to start a new document, you click new. And Mr. Gilman, if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and add one for Excel since I'm in your folder.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do a blank, go to Google, new, go to Google Docs, do blank document, and then create and share. And then you give it a title. And so you just might want to say clear direction. And then that document is there. And so any notes that when you all meet at your school to self-assess and talk about clear direction, you can put any notes in here, because you will need to put those documents in eProve as an external link. Okay, any questions there?
Hey,
sir.
Mr. Prayer, when we were up there with Dr. Harris, each one of those 7 factors, there was kind of some information that told what they were looking for. Where do we find that information at again? Okay,
so what we're going to do is I'm going to click back over here to Advanced Ed. We're going to go to the August 23rd meeting, and here's your school and system quality factors right here. You can click on one of the other of these.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, anyone else have any questions about that? About your school quality factors? Y'all good?
Good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically what you have by school is every school has a folder for each of these 7 quality factors. So if I click on MES, for example, you see the same thing. And you're just going to go in and create a Google Doc for you to type your notes. Because what you'll do with that document that I just showed, Mr. Gilman, you'll sit down and you'll self-assess each of these 7 ones. And I don't know how each school is setting up their teams and everything, but the team will basically need to go in and talk about where you all are and self-assess yourselves. But then you want to be able to talk about evidence that you have at your school to show each of these 7 things. So when you look at the description of clear direction, you want to find evidence to support it. Okay, and then you can also upload any documentation that will support it. So a clear direction. Let's say you have sign-in sheets of something where we're going over a process that we're going to implement in our school. The sign-in sheets would be one form of documentation. So you would do the new button, and you would do the file upload option, and then you would go to your computer and then you would find it and then upload it into that particular file. That way, when you get ready to put everything in eProof, you won't have to go and upload any more documents. You're just gonna put that external link in there, and then that link is gonna take them to everything for your agenda, your documentation, and everything.
That's going to be so easy to take care of. That's a good idea.
All right, because I
Go
don't want
back
y'all
over
to
that.
say it again, Mr. Gilman.
Can you go back over how you load it from somewhere else? I'm not real familiar with Google Drive,
Okay,
so
no
I'm
problem.
learning.
That's what we're here for. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to your eProof documents, and let's say we're on school quality factors, all right, Excel, and so you're working on clear direction. So if you have documentation that you want to add to your clear direction folder, what you do is come over here to New, then you come down to File Upload. Then if it's
Okay.
on your desktop or that you search for that file and you open it, and it will go right in there.
Okay, all right.
All right, is everyone else good there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the other thing I want to talk about in eProof was the surveys. There's a subfolder for spring 2018 surveys, and Dr. Harrison told us in our meeting that we do not have to worry about doing any more surveys. So what I've done for us is I've created a folder, and every school surveys, I've already put them in principals. I've put your surveys here, and then for every school. So I'm gonna click on Excel as my example. I've uploaded every one of your surveys out of eProof, so you don't have to go and do that. They're in PDF form. So as you're sitting out
Okay.
self-assessing, you don't have to do anything but just access these documents and look at where you say you are, and then self-assess.
Awesome.
Okay, anything else? Any questions there? I just want to double check to make sure I have, let's see, MMS, Ms. Hollinger. Yours are there.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
All right. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to work on my end to make it easier for you all, so you won't have to be logging in and trying to, scrabble around trying to get into all these different websites. I've tried to get everything so when your team meets, everything is in order. Okay.
Thank you.